You and the path to Buddha. Discover the vibrational key to enlightenment. Imagine for a moment that everything you've ever chased, the love, the success, the fleeting moments of happiness, is a shadow play, a flickering projection on the walls of your consciousness. Behind that wall lies a source of light so pure, so infinite, that merely turning toward it transforms your very being. The Buddha called this state nirvana, the cessation of suffering. But how do you access this light? How do we align with the vibrations that lead to enlightenment? These are not abstract questions. They are the essence of our existence. As I sit here sharing this with you, I want you to imagine that we are embarking together on a journey. Not just a journey of words, but a journey of vibrations, energies that will resonate with the deepest parts of who you are. This is not a story about a distant figure or a mythical path. This is about you. You are the protagonist. You are the seeker. You are the Buddha in the making. Let's begin with something simple yet profound. Pause. Right now, take a deep breath. Feel it move through you. Did you notice that moment of silence between the inhale and the exhale? That space is the doorway to enlightenment. The Buddha often spoke about mindfulness as the path to liberation. But have you ever wondered why? Why does simply observing your breath hold the key to escaping the endless cycle of desires, frustrations, and fears? Let me share with you the secret. Awareness is the vibration that harmonizes your being with the universe. When we quiet our minds, even for a moment, we tune into a frequency that is always present, but often drowned out by the noise of daily life. Have you ever felt that? A fleeting sense that there's more to life than what you see and hear? That's not your imagination. That's the call of the divine within you. But how often do we silence that call? How often do we ignore the whispers of truth in favor of the loud demands of the world? I want you to ask yourself a question. When was the last time you truly listened? Not just to the words of another, but to the stillness within yourself. If you were to sit in silence right now, what would you hear? Would it be the chatter of your thoughts or the hum of something eternal? Here's the paradox. The path to enlightenment is not about doing, but about being. In a world obsessed with action and achievement, the idea of simply being can feel almost radical. But this is the essence of the Buddha's teaching: to sit with yourself, to observe without judgment, to let go of the need to control. This is where the vibrational key begins to reveal itself. I once asked myself, what does it mean to truly let go? I thought of letting go as losing something, an act of surrender that felt like defeat. But then I realized something profound. Letting go is not losing, it is gaining freedom. Imagine holding onto a rope so tightly that your hands ache. Letting go isn't about the rope disappearing, it's about releasing the tension. The rope is still there, but now it no longer defines your pain. What are you holding on to right now? And what would happen if you released it? You see, every thought, every emotion carries a vibration. Anger vibrates low and dense, like a storm cloud blocking the sun. Love, on the other hand, vibrates high and light, like the rays of dawn breaking through the darkness. When we cling to negative vibrations, fear, resentment, greed, we lower our frequency, creating a disconnect from the path to enlightenment. But when we cultivate positive vibrations, compassion, gratitude, mindfulness, we align ourselves with the Buddha nature within. Let's go deeper. The Buddha spoke of the middle way, the balance between indulgence and asceticism. But have you ever considered what this means on a vibrational level? Picture a guitar string. If it's too loose, it cannot produce sound. If it's too tight, it snaps. Only when the tension is balanced does it create music. Your life is that guitar string. Are you too loose, lost in distractions and indulgence? Or too tight, consumed by rigidity and control? How can you find the balance that lets your soul sing? There's a practice I'd like to share with you. It's simple yet transformative. Close your eyes and place your hand over your heart. Now, silently repeat the words, I am here, I am present, I am enough. Feel the vibration of those words. They are not just affirmations, they are truths. Every time you say them, you are recalibrating your energy, realigning with the frequency of enlightenment. I want to pause here and ask you something. What does it mean to you to be enough? In a world that constantly tells us we need to be more successful, more attractive, more productive, how do you define your own worth? The Buddha taught that our inherent value does not come from what we do or have, but from what we are. You are already enough. The path to enlightenment is not about becoming something else. It's about remembering who you truly are. As we continue this journey together, I want you to reflect on this. What is one thing you can let go of today? Just one thing. A grudge, a fear, a limiting belief. Imagine the lightness you would feel without it. Imagine how your vibration would rise, how your path to Buddha would become clearer. This is not just an exercise, it's a step toward liberation. You see, enlightenment is not a destination. It is a state of being. It is not something you achieve after years of meditation in a remote cave. It is something you access right here, right now, in the stillness of this moment. The vibrational key is already within you. All you need to do is turn it. Let me ask you one final question for this part of our journey. If you knew that the path to Buddha was as close as your next breath, what would stop you from taking it? The eternal dance. How energy and compassion shape your journey to enlightenment. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself standing in a vast, empty field under a starlit sky. The silence is profound, yet it hums with an invisible rhythm, a pulse that connects everything in the universe, from the stars above to the soil beneath your feet. This is the dance of energy, the eternal flow that shapes not only the cosmos, but your very being. You are not separate from it. You are part of it, just as the Buddha realized beneath the Bodhi tree. But here's the question. How do you move in harmony with this dance? How do we align our steps with the rhythm of enlightenment? To answer that, we must first understand a profound truth. Everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, even your physical body are manifestations of energy vibrating at different frequencies. Compassion, for example, is not just a virtue. It's a high-frequency energy that radiates outward, touching everyone it encounters. When you act with compassion, you elevate not only your own vibration, but also the vibration of the world around you. Have you ever felt that ripple effect? A moment when a small act of kindness seemed to transform the energy of an entire room? That is the power of alignment with the eternal dance. But let's not idealize this path. Dancing with the universe is not always graceful. Sometimes, it feels more like a struggle, a battle against the forces of anger, fear, and doubt. These lower vibrations can pull us down, making us feel stuck, disconnected, and heavy. The Buddha faced these same challenges. As he sat beneath the Bodhi tree, Mara, the embodiment of desire and fear, appeared to tempt him. But the Buddha did not fight Mara. He simply observed. With calm and unwavering presence, he let Mara's illusions dissolve. Ask yourself, how do you face your own Maras? When fear whispers in your ear, do you listen? When anger rises like a storm, do you let it take control? Or do you, like the Buddha, sit calmly and observe? Here's the wisdom. What you resist persists, but what you observe transforms. The next time you feel a negative emotion, don't push it away. Instead, pause and ask yourself, what is this energy trying to teach me? Often, what we perceive as obstacles are actually invitations to grow. Let me share a practical exercise to help you navigate this dance of energies. It's called the compassion practice. Begin by sitting quietly and imagining someone who has brought you joy. Picture their face, their smile, the warmth of their presence. Allow yourself to feel gratitude for them. Now, imagine that same warmth radiating outward, touching others, friends, strangers, even those you might consider enemies. As you do this, notice how your energy shifts. Compassion is not just an emotion. It's a vibrational force that dissolves barriers and connects us to the greater whole. This brings us to a critical insight. Enlightenment is not a solitary journey. The Buddha reached nirvana not by isolating himself from the world, but by deeply understanding his interconnectedness with all living beings. When you walk the path to Buddha, you are not walking alone. Every thought you think, every action you take, creates ripples in the ocean of existence. What kind of ripples are you creating? Here's a question for you. If your thoughts and actions could shape the energy of the world, how would you choose to think and act? Reflect on this deeply, because the answer holds the key to your alignment with the eternal dance. Let's dive deeper into the nature of this dance. Imagine a river flowing effortlessly toward the ocean. The river doesn't question its path. It simply follows the pull of gravity, trusting the flow. But what happens when obstacles appear? A fallen tree, a boulder, a dam? The river doesn't stop. It adapts. It flows around, over, or through the obstacles, always moving forward. This is how energy moves, and this is how you must move on your path to enlightenment. Resistance, however, is what creates suffering. When we cling to expectations, when we try to control the uncontrollable, we dam the flow of our energy. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment, from our refusal to let the river flow as it naturally will. So ask yourself, what are you clinging to right now? What would happen if you let it go? There's a practice I want you to try. The next time you feel resistance, whether it's toward a person, a situation, or even yourself, pause and breathe deeply. As you exhale, imagine that resistance dissolving like mist in the morning sun. With each breath, let the river of your energy flow freely once more. This is not just a metaphor, it's a vibrational shift. Every time you release resistance, you elevate your frequency, bringing yourself closer to the rhythm of enlightenment. But the dance is not just about letting go. It's also about stepping forward with intention. Compassion is the step that moves us closer to the divine. But courage is what keeps us moving when the path becomes difficult. And here's the truth. The path to Buddha is not always smooth. There will be times when the dance feels more like a storm, chaotic, unpredictable, even painful. In those moments, remember this. Storms do not last forever. The sun is always shining behind the clouds. Let me ask you another question. When the storm of life rages around you, what keeps you grounded? Is it your faith, your inner strength, or something else? Reflect on this, because the answer will become your anchor in times of turbulence. Finally, Let's talk about the ultimate goal of this dance, enlightenment. But what does enlightenment really mean? It's not a magical state where all your problems disappear. It's not a destination you reach after years of meditation. Enlightenment is simply seeing things as they truly are. It's the realization that you are not separate from the dance, but a vital part of it. When you see the world through this lens, everything changes. Challenges become opportunities. Fear becomes a teacher. Life becomes a gift. So I leave you with this thought. The path to Buddha is not something you find. It is something you create with every step you take, every vibration you emit, and every moment you choose to align with love, compassion, and truth. Awakening the infinite within. How the Buddha's teachings guide us beyond duality. Take a moment to pause and reflect. Imagine the world not as a collection of opposites, good and bad, light and dark, success and failure, but as a harmonious whole, where everything exists in perfect balance. This is the essence of enlightenment, to see beyond duality and awaken to the infinite within. It sounds almost impossible, doesn't it? After all, our entire lives seem to be built around contrasts. We define ourselves by what we are and what we are not. But what if I told you that the path to Buddha lies in transcending this illusion? What if I told you that the key to freedom is realizing that you are not separate from anything or anyone? Let's begin with a question. Who are you? Really, who are you? Are you your name, your body, your thoughts, your experiences? Or are you something beyond all of that? An infinite awareness, boundless and free. The Buddha taught that clinging to the idea of a fixed self is the root of suffering. But why? Because the self, as we perceive it, is an illusion. It is a construct of the mind, a narrative we tell ourselves to make sense of the world. Yet, beneath that narrative lies the truth. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. Consider this. Every thought you think, every action you take is influenced by the belief that you are separate from the world around you. This belief creates duality, me versus you, us versus them, success versus failure. Duality breeds comparison, and comparison breeds suffering. But when you awaken to the infinite within, you realize there is no me and no you. There is only we. This is not just a philosophical idea. It is a profound shift in perception that changes everything. Let's explore how duality manifests in your life. Think about a time when you felt deeply unhappy. What caused that feeling? Was it a comparison, a judgment, a fear of loss? Now, imagine stripping away the duality from that moment. Imagine seeing it not as a failure or a setback, but as an experience, pure and simple. How does that change your perspective? This is the practice of non-duality, seeing things as they are, without labels, without judgment. But how do you apply this in your everyday life? Here's a simple yet transformative practice. The next time you feel a strong emotion, whether it's anger, joy, or sadness, pause and ask yourself, who is feeling this? Observe the emotion as if it were a cloud passing through the sky of your awareness. Notice its shape, its intensity, its movement. And then realize, you are not the cloud. You are the sky. This realization is the essence of the Buddha's teachings. It's what he discovered beneath the Bodhi tree. That suffering arises not from the world itself, but from our attachment to it. We suffer because we cling to duality, to the illusion of separation. But when we let go of that attachment, we awaken to the infinite within. We see the world not as a battlefield of opposites, but as a dance of interconnected energies. Here's a question for you. What would your life look like if you stopped clinging to duality? If you stopped seeing things as good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure? Reflect on this deeply, because the answer holds the key to your liberation. Let's go deeper into the Buddha's teachings. One of his most profound insights was the concept of dependent origination. Simply put, it means that everything arises in dependence on something else. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything is interconnected. This insight shatters the illusion of duality. It shows us that light cannot exist without darkness, joy cannot exist without sorrow, and self cannot exist without other. When you truly understand this, you realize that every moment is perfect as it is, because it could not be otherwise. But this realization is not just intellectual, it is vibrational. To awaken to the infinite within, you must align your vibration with the truth of interconnection. This requires practice, daily, intentional practice. Here's one you can try. Sit quietly and bring to mind someone who has caused you pain. Imagine them as a child, vulnerable and innocent, just like you once were. See their pain, their struggles, their humanity. As you do this, notice how your vibration shifts. Compassion begins to dissolve the illusion of duality, revealing the infinite within both you and them. Now, let's talk about the ultimate goal of this journey, liberation. But liberation from what? From the endless cycle of craving and aversion. From the prison of duality. From the belief that you are anything less than infinite. The Buddha described this state as nirvana, the extinguishing of the flame of desire. But nirvana is not an escape from life. It is an awakening to life as it truly is. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves crash against the shore, relentless and powerful. You could spend your life trying to control those waves, pushing them back, calming them down. Or you could simply step into the water and let it carry you. This is the essence of awakening, not resisting the flow of life, but surrendering to it with trust and grace. So I leave you with one final question. If you could step into the infinite, beyond duality, beyond fear, beyond attachment, what would stop you from doing so? Reflect on this deeply, because the answer holds the key to your awakening. The radiance of now. Unlocking the power of presence to access the Buddha within. Pause for a moment and bring your attention to the present. Not to your thoughts about the present, but to the raw, unfiltered experience of now. Feel the air on your skin, the rhythm of your breath, the stillness beneath the surface of your mind. This is not just a moment in time, it is the doorway to your true self. The Buddha called this state sati, or mindfulness, the foundation of liberation. But what does it mean to truly live in the present? And why is presence the key to discovering the Buddha within? Let's start with a simple observation. Most of us do not live in the now. Our minds are constantly oscillating between the past and the future, rehashing old memories, planning for what's to come, worrying about things that may never happen. But the past is gone, and the future does not yet exist. Only the present is real. And yet, how often do we miss it? Think about your day so far. How many moments were you fully present for? When you brushed your teeth, were you aware of the sensation of the bristles against your gums? When you ate your breakfast, did you truly taste each bite? Or were you lost in thought, your body going through the motions while your mind wandered elsewhere? Presence is not just about noticing what is happening. It is about fully inhabiting each moment as it unfolds. This is where the radiance of now begins to reveal itself. Here's a question for you. If the present moment is all there is, why do we spend so much time avoiding it? What are we afraid of finding in the stillness of now? The truth is, many of us fear the present because it strips away our distractions, leaving us face to face with ourselves. But this confrontation is not something to fear. It is an invitation to awaken. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to enlightenment because it brings us into direct contact with reality. When you are fully present, you see things as they are, not as you wish them to be or fear they might be. You see that your thoughts are just thoughts, not truths. You see that your emotions are just energy, not identity. You see that life is not happening to you, but through you. This realization is the essence of freedom. Let's make this practical. The next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and anchor yourself in the present. Use your senses as a guide. What can you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell right now? Notice the richness of the moment, the infinite details that are often overlooked. This practice is not just about calming the mind, it is about opening the heart to the miracle of existence. Presence also has a vibrational quality. When you are fully present, your energy aligns with the natural flow of the universe. You become like a tuning fork, resonating at the frequency of truth. Here's a question for you. If the present moment is all there is, why do we spend so much time avoiding it? What are we afraid of finding in the stillness of now? The truth is, many of us fear the present because it strips away our distractions, leaving us face to face with ourselves. But this confrontation is not something to fear. It is an invitation to awaken. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to enlightenment because it brings us into direct contact with reality. When you are fully present, you see things as they are, not as you wish them to be or fear they might be. You see that your thoughts are just thoughts, not truths. You see that your emotions are just energy, not identity. You see that life is not happening to you, but through you. This realization is the essence of freedom. Let's make this practical. The next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and anchor yourself in the present. Use your senses as a guide. What can you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell right now? Notice the richness of the moment, the infinite details that are often overlooked. This practice is not just about calming the mind. It is about opening the heart to the miracle of existence. Presence also has a vibrational quality. When you are fully present, your energy aligns with the natural flow of the universe. You become like a tuning fork resonating at the frequency of truth. Have you ever been in the presence of someone who radiated calm and clarity? That energy was the result of their alignment with the now. And here's the secret. You can cultivate that same energy within yourself. It begins with mindfulness, but it deepens through compassion. Compassion is the bridge between presence and enlightenment. When you are fully present, you begin to see the world not as separate from you, but as an extension of you. You see the struggles and joys of others as your own. This realization naturally gives rise to compassion, which is the highest vibration of all. The Buddha often said that compassion is the heart of his teachings. But compassion is not just an emotion, it is an action, a choice to live in harmony with the interconnectedness of all things. Here's another question for you. When was the last time you truly listened to someone? Not just to their words, but to the energy behind them. When was the last time you gave your full presence to another human being? In a world filled with distractions, such moments are rare, but they are transformative. The next time you are with someone, try this. Put aside your thoughts, your judgments, your need to respond. Simply listen. Feel their presence as deeply as your own. This is compassion in action, and it is one of the most powerful ways to access the Buddha within. But presence is not just about others, it is also about yourself. To live in the now, you must be willing to face the parts of yourself that you often avoid, the fears, the doubts, the shadows. These are not obstacles on the path, they are the path. The Buddha faced his own shadows under the Bodhi tree, and so must you. But here's the good news. When you shine the light of presence on your fears, they lose their power. They are revealed for what they are: impermanent, insubstantial, and ultimately unreal. Let me guide you through a simple practice to access the radiance of now. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. As you inhale, say silently to yourself, "I am here." As you exhale, say, "I am now." Repeat this for a few minutes, letting the words anchor you in the present. Notice how your body feels, how your mind begins to settle, how your awareness expands. This is not just a relaxation technique. It is a way of tuning into the vibrational frequency of enlightenment. Finally, let's talk about the power of presence to transform your life. When you live in the now, you stop wasting energy on regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. You become fully available to the opportunities and challenges of the present. This doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It means you become perfectly aligned with life. And in that alignment, you discover the Buddha within. So I leave you with this final question. What is one thing you can do today to fully inhabit the present moment? Reflect on this deeply, because the answer is not just a thought. It is an action, a vibration, a step on the path to Buddha. The journey doesn't end here. It never ends. The radiance of now is infinite, ever unfolding, ever inviting. Keep walking, keep listening, and keep awakening. The Buddha is not a figure in history. The Buddha is you.